Is it just me, or did it feel like it was a super long wait for this chapter of Boruto? Now that Boruto is in a new magazine, V-Jump, it felt like forever, and there's a lot to talk about with just all the insanity of this chapter between Kawaki, Jigen showing up, Kashin Koji, and there's something important. They messed up. Unfortunately, they messed up something continuity wise. They kind of were retconning something, and I have to point it out. So we're gonna talk about that and more in this one. But man, Boruto 36, regardless, I'm hyped, baby. Let's get back on the hype train. Toot more, brother. Okay, that was corny as shit, but yeah, let's jump into it.
Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like...
So Boruto is definitely heating up. Now that they put it in V-Jump, it seems as though they're just pushing it full gear. Boruto for months upon months now has just been on absolute fire. The plot is progressing very immensely, very quickly. We have a lot of things going on, and this chapter was no exception. But let's start off from the beginning. Boruto makes a misstep, and it's definitely once again pushing forth even more that there is just a huge connection between Boruto and Kawaki. I think it's doing it in a way where the karma mark is essentially being the thing that really pushes them even more. Like, not only the fact that Kawaki threw himself to save Naruto and Boruto, or whatever the case may be. Like, we had that, but the karma mark really just once again signifies just their bond. How Kawaki goes through something, Boruto immediately feels it and has his first misstep he ever has and busts his ass in the forest. So it definitely shows that, again, they really want to show this bond, which, if you think about it, if you heard, Boruto was originally supposed to be not this. It was supposed to be kind of a remake of Naruto. And if you think about it, Boruto and Kawaki are a remake of Naruto and Sasuke. So the karma mark is essentially, imagine the curse mark that Sasuke had if Naruto had the same curse mark and it both kind of played into messing with each other. Obviously they had their different curses, because you could argue back in the day Kurama was a curse on Naruto, and Sasuke of course had the curse seal from Orochimaru. With this one, the karma mark is really driving things home, and boy, yeah, Boruto busted his ass. And I could say one thing that I really appreciate, and that's the subtlety of something that people may find boring, and that's the parts of Kawaki trying to put together that vase, which it feels like, goddamn, bro, like, how many pieces of that vase break into? I thought he already fixed that shit, but he's looking for one final piece, and it's very symbolic of the fact that Kawaki feels empty, and there's like that one piece that he's missing inside of himself. So while he's searching for this vase, and Naruto's like, hey, Hinata cleans every day, it's really signifying that he wants to become complete. And I think that's what most people in general, you apply it to our world, the real world, we all feel like we just need that one piece to really make us whole and complete. And Kawaki feels incomplete. I mean, you could just imagine the torture that he sustained as a child at the hands of Jigen and Kara, being in test tubes, all this thing that they put him through. So he feels like he still is incomplete, and is reflecting with, the whole metaphor of this vase that he wants to put together for Himawari. And very interesting conversation, even though it's very small and not the most important characters, but Shikadai and Inojin are talking about Kawaki, and out of all the people, Shikadai said Shikamaru don't trust him like really bad, and Inojin said Ino said to keep your distance from him, but Sai on a personal level, Inojin says actually trusts him. And I think the reason why is because a lot of the times, when you want to relate to somebody, or you want to understand somebody's pain or what they're going through, or just to in general get an idea of somebody, you got to walk through their shoes. And if you think about it, when Sai first started, he kind of had his ulterior motives, and he was always under suspicion, and he really wanted eventually that friendship with Naruto and Sasuke and to be accepted. So I think he sees a lot of himself in Kawaki, where he's kind of a newbie, people won't trust him, so that's why he wants to give him the benefit of the doubt. So that conversation, as small as it may be, it does give insight into a lot of things of like, in order to understand someone's walk, you gotta use their shoes. And Sai going through that is the one that's going to understand, like, he's a newcomer, they're gonna give him even worse time because of his connections to Kara and stuff like that. So really interesting stuff, and keeping Sai somewhat relevant, even though he was never really relevant to begin with. Here comes the Sai fanboys that never existed, now they love him. And then we cut to Sakura and Sarada, and they still on that Sasuke hype. Do y'all realize Shippuden ended a long time ago? Stop being hype over Sasuke, duh. But you can see she's still happy as ever whenever Sasuke comes over. Like, she really settles for very little. Like, if Sasuke just shows up and touches her forehead, oh my god, Sakura, come on, man. We in the Me Too movement era. You gotta expect a little bit more from Sasuke. But no, very interesting, just seeing them there, whatever. But here's where a big thing. because there's a contradiction and a retcon that this chapter created, unfortunately, regarding the Byakugan seal that is on Sakura's head and Tsunade. Because in Shippuden, if I'm not mistaken, the origin of it was Tsunade said that she created. It was a seal, and in order to get the Byakugan seal, you need to have the first transformation that Tsunade had. Tsunade says she created it. Now, Sakura is saying that it comes from the Sage of Six Paths era, despite even Madara was unfamiliar with it, and Tsunade said that she created it. So definitely a retcon. I mean, you could throw in a small argument that Tsunade maybe misrepresented what she said, or Sakura didn't hear her clearly. There's so many things you can go with, but to me, it's just a bullshit retcon, because, you know, Madara even didn't know about it. Madara knew almost everything, you know, even though the scriptures were changed by the Zetsu or whatever, Madara knew. Madara knew almost everything. So if he didn't know about this seal, chances are they just retconned this shit to kind of squeeze it into the Sage of Six Paths. Maybe we'll see a return of him again this time around to kind of quell the fight between Kawaki and Boruto. And we see Kashin Koji again, and it's really starting to look more and more like he's working for us. Whoever he is, if he's Jiraiya, which this is going to be a long one. I can't wait to see finally who he is. They're trying to build it up to get that Toby mask reveal shit going. They want that hype or whatever, but he definitely isn't completely rocking with Jigen. In fact, in this one, it shows a lot of distrust between the two of them. How Kashin Koji is really trying to find out Jigen's motives, but the whole time, Kashin Koji thought he was in control and trying to find Jigen was kind of playing him to see what he was up to. So when Jigen shows up, which we'll get to that in a second, hype. But Kashin Koji dipped real quick. So I don't know if they're going to fight after this. I don't know what's going to happen. Who the hell is Kashin Koji? How much longer are we going to have to wait? Okay, this is Toby's mask all over. Oh my god, I did so many theories of that back in the day. But developing even further the karma mark, Jigen was able to hop over from wherever the hell he was with Sasuke over through the karma mark that Kawaki has on his hand, and he pops into Naruto's living room. Hey, I don't think we've ever seen something like that, like the main villain just hopping into Naruto's living room and being like, yo, what's up? And Jigen's personality is starting to show a little bit more with this, because in this chapter, Jigen, first of all, he kind of tries to refer to Kawaki as his son. He's like, hey, I just came to get my wayward son. He even says, yo, I'm not trying to fight. I just want my son. I'm trying to leave with him. It was really interesting there. But then it goes even further, because when he starts talking crap about Naruto, he kind of seems like he resents him a bit, and he knows quite a bit about him as well. He's like, oh, that peace obsessed Hokage, all he cares about is this dumb village and shit like that. So I'm kind of curious, what is Jigen's problem with Naruto? It seemed like it was personal. It wasn't just like a random thing. He knows a lot about Naruto, and he kind of seemingly has an issue with him being so peace obsessed. So I'm kind of curious, how much does he know? Is he somebody that we've already seen in the past? Or, I mean, it's been kind of hinted, especially a chapter ago? Yeah, last chapter, that he's basically the original Otsutsuki. So he knows quite a bit. He seemingly has a problem with Naruto's love and obsession for peace. How does he know all of this about Naruto? Started, you know, opening more doors, but also asking more questions as well. And I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of lit. Like, he was gangsta as fuck. Like, yo, not only you pop into Naruto's living room, you tell him, yo, I'm just coming to get my son, I ain't gonna fight. Naruto tries to do something, and he lays Naruto out. I'm like, damn, yo, Jigen has shown so far, like, okay, because if Delta gave Naruto an issue, and Jigen, the way he handled them, yeah, it's getting real hype with this. But I gotta say, like, Naruto, he be rusty. Like, yo, he gets hit with rods that start draining his chakra, and he's like, hey, what's going on with these rods? Hey, do you remember the Pain arc when you're pinned down to the ground with those rods? And Pain had the ability to kind of maneuver you if he wanted to, but he didn't. But like, yo, you don't remember the Pain arc? Even Kurama was like, I'm disgusted. Get up, bro. You acting like a shame to the Hokage name. Like, Naruto is rusty, bro. Like, I think no matter who the Hokage is, they should still be mandated to train at all times when they have free moments at the very least, or train, you know, a regular training regimen, because that was bad. That was bad. Jigen just kind of mollywopped him for a moment, and it was like nothing. And you can see that the relationship, or the admiration that Kawaki has for Naruto, is on another level, because not only does he scream, I've never looked at you as a father or anything like that to Jigen, never a master, but he also, once Jigen starts trying to put shit into his head, like, yo, they just using you, you don't see that fake hand, they just trying to track you, that's when a horn starts coming out of Kawaki's head, and like his face, the karma mark starts spreading. So I don't know if from my idea, it seems like something similar to what Orochimaru was trying to do back in the day to take Sasuke's body. It seems as though Jigen, whatever's wrong with his body or why he wants to hop over, I don't know. Maybe he hates himself. Maybe he hates the way he looks. I don't freaking know. But he wants Kawaki's body, similar to Orochimaru. That's why they refer to him as the vessel. So the fact that a horn grew out, and we've seen that Jigen had horns when he was with the Ten Tails, it seems as though maybe possibly the more that Jigen is next to Kawaki, the more that he uses this karma mark to his advantage, the more he'll take over. Possibly, again, like I theorized a couple videos ago, Boruto will have the same situation with Momoshiki. Possibly Momoshiki can slowly take over Boruto's body using the karma mark. The karma mark was able to teleport him from one place to another. Kawaki grew a freaking horn, which means that he's starting to look like Jigen. Maybe slowly but surely Jigen is turning into Kawaki, and that's his whole goal. But I think also it just shows that whatever it is that makes Kawaki supposedly go rogue, if it's not the fact that he's actually on the good side and Boruto is just misled or whatever, because he just has too much admiration for Naruto. It's like, don't you dare disrespect the Lord Seventh. And then the horn grew out and everything. Like, it shows that it's going to take a lot to really break that bond. Because even as Jigen's trying to drill into his head, hey, that arm is a tracking device. Hey, they're just using you. Hey, the cowardly, obsessed with peace Hokage. Like, everything that he says. And Kawaki's like, don't care, don't care, don't care. I know what I believe in. So I don't know what the hell it's going to take for Kawaki to basically say, screw the village, screw Naruto, screw Boruto, when he's really dedicated. The only person that he knows that he really freaking hates anyway, Jigen, but he's like, nah, not when it comes to Lord Seventh. You ain't going to play on my man's name. In the end of the chapter, Naruto returned the favor to Jigen, kicking his ass a little bit, and we got a setup for Naruto versus Jigen. Feels really early, honestly. Like, this feels like this is supposed to be the final battle. Maybe they'll have a little scuffle here, but then again, we got to remember, this ain't Shippuden. This ain't Naruto no more. This is Boruto. The final fight is not going to be Naruto versus Jigen, as much as I would love to see it. It's probably going to be Boruto versus Kawaki, or something along the lines with Boruto being the main star. So even though this feels like, yo, this is the final fight going on right here, what's going on, it's probably going to just be something where they're going to go at it a bit, and then one of them, Jigen, is probably going to retreat, possibly taking Kawaki, and potentially take over his body in general, or something along the lines of that. Jigen feels very Orochimaru with that whole thing of, like, if he is trying to take over his body. I mean, if a horn grew out of his head, and we've seen Jigen's one of the only Otsutsuki to kind of have that look, it's a possibility that that's what he's trying to do. I'm kind of curious what you guys thought about this chapter in general. Do you feel as though this arc is 100% saving Boruto? I mean, without a doubt, this is the best arc of Boruto, and it just feels like the hype every freaking chapter with Jigen, Kara, the karma marks, Boruto, Kawaki, Naruto versus Jigen. We had last week the Ten Tails. There's just so much. This shit is insane hype. Who do you got your money on? Naruto versus Jigen. I mean, Jigen is a strong dude, and Naruto, he's looking rusty, bro. When you got Kurama talking shit and saying, hey you, young man, you just got knocked off. You know shit is real. And what do you think is up with Kashin Koji? Now that it's starting to show more that he and Jigen both have a distrust of each other, that Kashin Koji seemingly is trying to take Jigen down. That's where I'm going with my theory, because if he's observing him, he's trying to find out his end game or whatnot, and Jigen was playing him along, maybe Kashin Koji is someone we know that has not turned bad. I just, again, the Jiraiya thing, I'm gonna feel so mixed. Like, one of the reasons Kishimoto did not bring back Jiraiya in the war was because he felt it was too good. He didn't want to touch it. He didn't want to mess with it. This is going to mess with it. And your overall thoughts and expectations. I will say this chapter, the big downside of it is the retcon with Sakura saying that the Byakugan was from the Sage of the Six Paths era, even though Tsunade said she created it to Madara, and Madara was unfamiliar with that. That's a no-no. I'm disappointed with that. But other than that, this arc has been hype as hell, and Boruto is really onto some great shit. Your overall thoughts and expectations for the future of Boruto. It's gonna be another long wait for chapter 37, but I can't freaking wait. Naruto versus Jigen. It seems like it's an endgame fight, but not really. We got a time skip to get to, so yeah, can't wait. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit the bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links of course in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Can't forget the music though. Hold on, let me play out a little something.
Paper rules, if you heard it, best believe that. For now it's whatever. One day I'll be your favorite for never.
No matter how you feel.